Show.
You're live, John.
Hi there, I'm John Shields, and welcome to another episode of Chesapeake Farm Bay to Table. We're in season 2, and this is our 4th episode, a very, very exciting episode, in fact. And we are celebrating Women's History Month. And we have special guests for that, indeed. So I was thinking about it the other day. You know, there really would be no culinary history if there wasn't Women's History Month. Because, you know, women are the ones that created most of the recipes that we know, created all the styles of recipe we know. And some of the recipes that we found for this show, they really are the foundations of American culinary history. So we got a lot of good stuff going on tonight, some really cool recipes, and we had some help finding these recipes. One of the ones we're going to start with is a simplified version of a Colonial Maryland stuffed ham. Many of you have heard of it before. Many of you are intimidated by it, but we're going to make it simple and easy for you. And then we have another dish that we're going to do. It's kind of a tried and true dish. It's has its foundations in Native American cooking. And if any of you guys that have been here before, you know one of the things that we love to do is finish up with a sweet treat. And we have one that I think you're going to love tonight. It's from one of America's civil rights icons, Rosa Parks. Yes, yes. Now, did I mention that Mary Hastler and I will be taking you on a field trip to the Library of Congress? Did I? We've been working on this show for quite some time, and I cannot really express clearly enough how excited I am. I'm excited about our cooking host. In fact, I've been out of my mind excited about it. She's a special friend that I met her over 20 years ago. She's also a dear friend of Mary Hastler. And by the way, the remarkable 14th Librarian of Congress, Dr. Carla Hayden. Most of you who are familiar with Dr. Hayden knew that she was with the Enoch Pratt Library System for over 20 years. So she's going to be with us tonight. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Now, if you got anything on too tight and you're feeling constricted, loosen it up. We're going to get started cooking. I want you to sit back, relax, because we got a lot of ground to cover and some delicious recipes to prepare. So we better get this show started. Now, of course, no Chesapeake Farm Bay to Table episode is complete without our executive sous chef. She's also known as the CEO of Harford County Public Libraries. It is Mary Hastler. Mary, welcome.
Woo, 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 woo. So excited to be here tonight. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. And
We've been waiting.
Library of Congress, and we have so much to talk about and to share, and just recipes. I mean, oh, I'm so excited. And as John said, we've been planning this for a very, very long time, a very special episode. So yeah. I know it's not Valentine's Day, but you know what I'm sending to everybody? Little hearts. Little hearts. Because it's so special. And it's Women's Month. Yes. What's better? Go women. Go women. I have 3 sisters. Go women. Go women. Okay.
Well, you know, when we were starting to plan out this episode, I was thinking, okay, what are we going to do? And you so wisely said that Harford County is always celebrating Women's History Month. So we really wanted to tie that all together. And I think that we've done a very, very, very nice job with that.
I think it's going to be a home run.
Yeah.
How's that sports analogy?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that. What Major League Baseball's on.
So. Orioles, yes. Ironbirds, all that. Okay.
All right, calm down, everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Did you ever see that movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Yes, it's a favorite.
Well, there's a whole new motion picture that will be coming to the IMAX theaters. It's called Mary and John Go to Washington. Mary and John Go to Congress. The Library of Congress is at once awe-inspiring and overwhelming. Fortunately, we had Roswell Encina, Chief Communication Officer, as our guide as we began a day of research for this Women's History Month episode. The magnificent Thomas Jefferson Beaux Arts Building was built between 1890 and 1897. It is the de facto National Library of the United States with over 32 million catalog books in 470 languages and more than 61 million manuscripts. We were greeted by two of the library's curators who generously assembled ancient culinary books and artifacts to help with our research. One book being the first cookbook published in the US in 1796. We saw an array of historical cookbooks from the Civil War and beyond. There was a handwritten recipe from civil rights hero Rosa Parks. One thing to keep in mind is that almost all the recipes were developed by women, both free and enslaved, creating what we now recognize as authentic American cuisine. And beyond the culinary history we witnessed that day, the sense of history continued as we saw Dr. Carla Hayden's name engraved on the plaque with all the librarians of Congress since the founding of the Republic. It was one day of research and discovery that I will never forget. Well, that was quite the trip to DC, wasn't it?
It was memorable on so many different levels and just an incredible day. And the best part about the Library of Congress is anybody can go and visit it. You have to go online and follow all the rules, but I am a proud card-carrying member now. I have a reader's card that says I can officially do things at the Library of Congress.
That's amazing.
I agree. And they have a great gift shop, too.
Very nice gift shop.
Very nice.
You know, I hadn't been to the Library of Congress before.
Really?
It was my very first time. And you know how, I mean, at least I grew up in Baltimore County, they would take us down to DC all the time, and we got to see this and that, but we never went to the Library of Congress. It was, if you haven't been, make sure you get there. It is one of the most amazing sites that I've ever seen. It's awe-inspiring, actually, isn't it?
It truly is. And the exhibits, and it's just when you walk in, you kind of stand there and you all know me. I say, wow, the wow factor. This is the one time when you use that wow factor, and it is authentic. You walk in and you're like, wow. and it belongs to all of us. It's just amazing that we have this treasure. And I understand National Treasure, the movie with you know who, was part of it was filmed there. We got to see that while we were there too.
We did. So it was very cool. And so put it on your list. If you haven't been, put it on your list. So I don't know what else to say, except that we've been waiting and the time is now. And I would like to introduce to all of you and welcome to our humble cooking stage, Dr. Carla Hayden, Librarian of Congress.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
Two favorite people.
Welcome.
People
Come on in. Come on in.
And everything about the Library of Congress, the Thomas Jefferson Building,
Yes.
right across from the Capitol,
The views.
the largest
Oh my
library in the
God.
world. And you're right, it belongs to everyone.
belongs to everybody.
16 years old, you can get a reader's card.
Oh my gosh.
So come on down.
That's amazing.
But this,
Yes, this. Well, you know, we figured if we were gonna go do Women's History Month, have you as our guest. We have the Library of Congress kind of as a resource, and your staff was so nice. You know, Roswell was amazing, taking us on a tour, showing us all around, and the curators were so kind. They pulled out all kinds of recipes for us to see and really gave us a great foundation, you know, of the history of American cooking. And it's amazing, everything that the library houses down there.
and it's, people might say, oh, you have the papers of 23 presidents from George Washington to Coolidge and 36 Supreme Court justices and all these different things. You have the world's largest collection of cookbooks. Yes, because that's part of American history and culture too.
It is.
And so you made the curators and the librarians that day very happy to pull it out, and they have a commemorative book
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
has
Look at
all
this.
types
Yeah.
of the culinary
Mhm.
treasures of the Library of
Wow.
Congress, the first cookbook that was published in the United
Yeah, there's
States.
some really,
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
America Eats and all of that. And you mentioned the shop. So you can
Yeah.
get copies of the cookbooks and stuff in the
A
shop.
very good shop, by the way.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
good shop.
It's a good shop.
Very, very nice.
So
Very,
food
very
is comfort, though. And
Yes.
that's why we wanted to bring that up
We
too
do.
during Women's
We
History Month.
Yeah, I think so, because like I had said a little bit more, there are so many kind of famous chefs that are out there, that we see on the Food Network and so forth and so on. But really, when we get to the basis, almost all the recipes that have been developed throughout history and continue to be developed now have been by women.
Mhm.
They're the people that keep that family table going, that keep the communities going, that share information, share stories, share actual ingredients with
Yes.
each other. Think about what is that dough that they make?
Oh, the sourdough.
The sourdough that they hand off from
Mhm.
one
Mhm.
family to
That's
another.
right.
And so it's like you have a living history in your refrigerator, that starter, that may have been 3 or 4 generations. So that history is real. I mean, it's really not only real, you can eat it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good
well,
history.
That's the
I'm
best
not going to
part.
mention fruitcakes. I'm not mentioning fruitcakes.
Oh, fruitcakes are. Okay. That's
Do
what I'm
not send Dr. Hayden
Oh,
a fruitcake for
No,
But
but
with
scratch it
women's
off your
history-
present list next year.
Well, Women's History too. I'm so glad you have me here this month because I'm the first woman to
Yes.
be
Yes, you
Librarian of
are.
Congress since 1802.
She's historical. Her name's actually on the wall under these men that
Yes.
were there.
Kind of creepy.
That is, I mean, when you look at it, you sit there and think, yeah, there's words that don't quite describe it,
Yeah.
and it's quite impressive. So, but
So to be here and to be with
Congratulations.
you all here
Congratulations.
and to think about food, because Mary knows, and we've talked about this many times, libraries have really seen the connection between literacy and food, and there's math, there's chemistry, all of these cool things.
we do.
And health.
And health,
And
and
health.
about the health. And
Yes.
And you talked a little bit earlier, it's all about nourishing each other. And I think that's why women have played such a strong role. We were the ones who nourished our families, would prepare whatever dad would come back on that stick the
Yeah.
year. But we were the ones who would cook it and prepare it and make sure that everyone had a good breakfast when you went off to school or
Something.
something.
Exactly.
So even if my mom just gave us Pop-Tarts, hey, it was the 60s, what can I say?
It worked.
It worked.
Look at us.
What the
Yeah.
soldiers used to, we do the Veterans History Project, and a lot of the letters talk about, thank you for the cookies, Mom, that you sent. Thank you for
The treats.
what you sent from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It just makes
amazing.
such a difference.
Well, should we cook?
I
think
We're
we
here.
cook.
Okay, everybody get ready. Get your
All
pots
right,
and pans out.
yes.
Now you
Chef
all
Edward,
come up.
We're ready to go.
Oh, this is beautiful.
All
Wow.
right, here we
All
go.
right,
I can help the chef
green things. Oh, yes.
pass things along. Wow.
We are.
Is that
doing
hot?
Something major this
We
tonight.
sure are. This is a big one tonight.
This is a big.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big
This
one.
is a big one. This is
Yeah.
a really big deal tonight.
Yeah.
And it's very historical too. Which
It
I know
is.
John will be talking a little bit about. Hey, that looks
Okay.
pretty, doesn't it?
Yes, I think we have more and we have more and
And
we
should
have
all eat
more and
green,
we have
so I
more.
think that's gonna be a good thing tonight.
It's a lot of green here and I don't even want to mention St. Patrick's Day, but we have a lot of green.
Okay.
And do we have cabbage? We have
We have
cabbage. I
cabbage.
don't know what to say. And ham. This was not supposed to be the way it is.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's fine.
All right, cool.
It's not enough room.
So I'm ready if you're ready.
I
I said
am
it's not
ready.
enough room.
And Carla, are you ready?
You ready?
Okay.
We're-
Now we're ready.
We're
You can
cook,
stand right here next to
we're
John.
cooking.
All
We are
right, we're gonna
cooking.
cook. Mary,
And
you're
I've told everybody, I am not a master chef. I
good.
like to bake, but I like things that come out of boxes sometimes to put eggs in. It makes me feel like I'm actually creative. So John helps walk us through this, and I've learned
Good.
so much over the last couple cooking classes, which I think everybody else is learning too.
Yeah.
So
Well, we try, don't we? We try, we do
try.
our
And I
best.
like to eat.
Okay, let's do a quick
Me too.
intro of this. This is a recipe that is called a St. Mary's County stuffed ham.
St. Mary's.
People all over the state know it, but people from around the country are familiar with it too. It's a very interesting dish. And its history is pretty cool because it talks a lot about the United States. It really does. So we have here
That's beautiful.
a nice kind of roast of pork. Now, you heard me say ham. I'm trying to make this an easier dish because if we did a corned ham, ham is not something that you think that you buy in the grocery store that we just slice and put on. Ham is actually the cut of the meat. It is from here down. It's the leg.
Okay.
And the shank.
Gotcha.
But, so that is what a ham is. It isn't a smoked product. It isn't any of that. It's a fresh product.
Oh.
And so when we were talking and you're hearing about a corned ham or a brined ham, these were English techniques to preserve meats. And I thought that it would be a little too wild for us to try to do a 22-pound thing. And a lot of people can't even eat that. So I thought, why don't we try to do this kind of with a smaller piece of ham, a fresh ham. And our chef Ed, he brined this for us. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do things. You can brine. Brine means putting in a kind of a salt saline kind of solution for a number of days. It takes that on. Or you can corn it where you're putting salt over it for days and days and days and days. So we have a brined ham. So this is what we would have seen maybe down at a manor house or something, that kind of product. Now, in the kitchens of that manor house, we may have had the enslaved population cooking. And this is the interesting part of this one. Most of these ingredients came out of the enslaved people's gardens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So these are not vegetables that would have been normal in an English garden. So you have these two components, two philosophies of cooking that come together to make one uniquely American dish.
And that's what makes it unique.
It's pretty cool. So anyway, we're going to do a little chopping.
Okay.
So we already have some of the green things in here.
Thank you, Chef Ed.
Thank you, Chef Ed. And I'm going to chop a little bit more of this here. And if anybody feels like doing a little bit of this, a little bit, if you can.
We can do that.
I mean, if y'all want to do that and then cut it into some
We can
little
do this.
pieces.
Yeah, we can do that.
You do that, and then I'm
I'll
going to
do
chop.
one.
I'm going to chop some more kale here. So the vegetables that we're looking here are kale, cabbage, watercress.
I was
Field cress.
wondering about that one.
Field cress.
Is that common on the Eastern Shore, watercress?
It is. And you'll
not know
find this. I mean, I used to go out as a kid and go up and down the banks of the creeks or the little lakes, and there would be watercress all over it. And so it's beautiful. All right, so we got a little bit of this. Now I'm going to take it this away, and we'll just go like so.
Yeah, see, he does that.
Yeah,
I
I'm backing up.
We
I'm backing up.
just do a little chopping.
You gotta
You got
see how the
practice
finger,
that. That's like a Julia
but
Child
just go
kind of stuff.
slow.
Now, the nice thing about this dish is when you're doing this at home, you can get a whole bunch of family to get involved because there's a lot of chopping to do. And when we do the stuffing part, we need help to do the stuffing as well.
And John has 5 knives set aside for just this alone tonight, which is a lot. Normally
It
it's
is.
one.
Yeah, I usually only need one knife,
smells good.
but we do have. And so again,
It's like
another
releasing it.
aspect that you'll notice as we continue on our chopping and dicing and whatever else we do here, I'm not cooking anything.
We notice, and I want to put dressing on it and just
And-
have a
and-
salad.
Oh, that would be good.
Wouldn't it be
That would be
good?
really good.
And I probably, as
I
you
like cabbage too.
as you
Mhm.
see, we're
Look at that.
probably really not going to do any cooking of this stuffing at all.
Before you
Zero.
put it in.
Before we
Okay.
put it in,
Just to clarify, make sure you all get
which is pretty unusual, for a stuffing.
We need to
What
practice
about,
that.
do onions go into this? at all?
Shallots. I
Green
think.
onions.
Yep.
Green
It
onions.
gets
Okay.
green onions.
And I'm always a little confused about
Anybody
green
want to work
onions.
on
And the
green onion?
shallots.
Do they?
Shallots, green.
Do we
Yeah.
eat everything on a green onion, or is it just?
I
something?
generally take
Okay.
right about there. I still leave some of the white part at the bottom, and I take a little bit of the,
That's what you, okay.
it's a little tougher. The thing is a little
Mhm.
tougher at the top.
Okay.
And then you could, like what we do sometimes at the restaurant, or many people I know, they'll save this and they have a little bucket and they keep them, and then you
To
can
get
make
the
a stock
roots.
or a vegetable
Oh,
stock later
nice.
with it. Or if you're not going to do that,
wanna
you
just
can
take-
also
take-
I can do
Okay,
this.
you can
okay,
also
do that.
Yeah,
compost
this
it.
is-
Compost.
So there's all kinds of
Well.
things that we can do with
Doing
this.
a great job. Awesome job.
Here we go.
We're doing
There we
it.
go. I put
I
a little
gotta-
bit of
I gotta
cabbage
speed up,
in
though.
I
there.
didn't grow up with
Mary,
this
you
kind
have
of
to,
onions.
you have
I'm
to,
like-
well, these are the fancy,
Yeah.
but they're not really fancy, but
No,
I
they're
grew up
not.
with yellow onions. I know how to cut up. But I
yeah.
always question, like leeks. I'm not sure what a leek does either, but we're not using.
Yeah, we'll do another class on leeks.
Oh,
You're gonna
leeks,
love them.
yes.
I love leeks.
But they're
I
in the
really
same
do.
class, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still
Yeah.
like onions.
Oh,
Really
yeah,
like
we
them?
just keep the classes
You
coming.
know the French, and Carla, you might know this, the French love leek soup when they're
Oh,
trying to
yes.
be healthy eating, the women. I'm looking for a good recipe.
I'm sure it does something for the blood. We're not quite sure exactly what it does
French
for the
women
blood, but it
don't
does
get
something for the
fat.
blood.
Remember
I
that
said,
book?
I know, I
Remember that book?
I read it. It did not help.
It did not help at
It
all.
did not help, especially during
Obviously,
COVID.
yeah.
No,
No, that's not it.
no.
Good old
Yeah,
American
I
cooking.
like to eat.
All right, there we go. We're gonna make
That's-
believe like right
Looks
here
Doesn't it
Beautiful.
look beautiful?
that we have just this great
Okay.
melange of vegetables. And I mean, right now, if we went back through that list with
Yeah.
the celery and the green onions and everything, it's pretty healthy.
It's
is.
very.
And everybody should have your recipes, so you can follow
Yeah,
along.
you have the recipes.
Mhm.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it up a little bit.
Oh, that's.
So I have some salt.
Now, regular salt,
Yeah,
kosher
well,
salt,
actually, I'm using a kosher salt. for
kosher
this.
salt.
You could use whatever. Now,
Okay.
this is one thing that you wouldn't see much before is mustard seed
The
whole mustard
Oh, a
seed
whole seed.
goes
Okay.
into this.
Hmm.
So that's kind of spicy there. And then we're gonna do hot chili peppers or
Oh.
hot
It's
peppers.
still looking like a good
Yeah,
salad,
really.
This
isn't
is
it?
this
So
is
got
not
my
this
interest.
is not something that the English would have put in their own. Trust me.
They don't.
They
like
didn't-
that.
Yeah.
No,
They
they're
didn't
kinda
do that.
bland.
They
They're
didn't
I'm
do
kind of
yeah, they like
Irish and I
porridge and
kind of
stuff.
know. All right, so
Okay.
we have that. Mary, could you hand me that pepper shaker?
And John, is kosher salt like saltier? 'Cause
It's not
seems very,
salty.
or is
It's
rough.
really it's rough.
That's
It's the way that it is
Okay.
processed and ground. And, so there's a nice kind of texture to it when you're doing it. And
Okay.
I know it's kind of weird to think, but I almost find it a little bit sweet. Okay, here we go.
Doesn't it smell like?
Smells delightful. I know, this would make a really nice salad if you didn't
It
remove
would.
the ham and pork and everything.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
I I'm keeping an eye
So
on.
what is
I
this?
keep an eye on Steve. He's keeping an eye on
Okay.
us. We need a lot of keepers here
We
for
do.
this thing. But we do.
Well,
Well, we
they
have
know
so
my
much fun.
allergies are kicking up and they don't want me to, because we're going to eat this.
Yes, we are
So
going to. eat
my
it.
sneezing would not help.
It's okay.
no, we don't
It's
want a
that
lot
time of year
sneezing.
we're all
Can you
sneezing.
hand that off to our
Absolutely.
lovely
That
helpers
would
over
not
there?
help. Now, is this the cheesecloth?
That is a cheesecloth. Now, the traditional method in the Chesapeake Bay is to use a extra large t-shirt, but we're going to do it a little bit differently tonight.
Well, if it's clean.
Okay, so what we have
I am
here.
not making any comment on the t-shirt.
If
Yes,
it's clean,
yes, yes,
we're
yes.
okay.
Okay, so right here, I'm going to take
This is a
my
good-looking
boning
piece of
knife
meat.
here, and we're making some cuts in here. They're kind of
Okay.
like a
Half
half moon.
Now you left the fat on top. Was that
Yes.
deliberate?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you could trim off some of the fat,
Okay.
but as it cooks, it'll render and it's going to give beautiful flavor.
That's
So
why.
you eat that
to the
like the
ham.
pork rind or
Oh,
something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's digging, I mean, his knife's going
He's
in
really-
like
yeah.
3 inches. It's
Yeah,
not-
You
it's
notice his
going-
finger is going
not
in.
shallow.
It's going in deep
It's
there.
going in deep.
It really is.
Kind of like if you were carving out like a pumpkin. If
Yes.
you're carving a jack-o'-lantern kind of.
Yes, and so you're making
technique.
lots of slits, half
Lots
moon
of
them. Lots.
slits through there.
And you buy cheesecloth anywhere, any kitchen place,
Yeah,
Amazon, whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's giant. Too.
So then
Oh, giant too.
this is the stuffing.
Chopper. Yep.
So we're going to start push
Oh,
stuffing into
I did not
Mary, we're both
visualize
looking
this.
at that.
I'm
We
like,
did
I
not
thought we
think
were
that
cutting
was
it
gonna
in half
happen.
and we're gonna stuff it all and roll it.
No, this
Yeah,
is
we
Why
didn't
did
this
I
think that.
is
I did not think that.
this
was
is the
surprised, too.
stuffed
Oh my
ham part.
gosh.
So we would be taking all these kind of half moon things, and this is like an afternoon party of getting the gang in, cutting things, stuffing it.
Well,
and
that
so
could be,
forth.
like- that's the
could
part,
be.
getting ready. And then you surprise, don't tell them you're gonna do that.
So that,
No, don't
that's a
tell them.
Surprise them.
They might not. They might not come.
I
No,
did
they
not see that
would.
coming,
No,
You
I
think they
didn't.
would? You think they would?
So you have about what, 7 of those?
Yes,
slits?
and then
Okay.
look, we already did some here.
on the
I was
side.
doing it on the side now. I stuck it
Side,
on the side
all the
slits.
way around,
All the way
top,
around.
bottom, all the way
Okay.
around here. We just keep stuffing
Just stuffing it.
Wow.
these
Wow.
vegetables in here.
Wow.
That actually looks, I hate to say
Is
it
it?
looks good, John.
It does, doesn't it?
It's still looking good.
All right, now we're gonna turn
Turn
it
it
over here
over.
again,
Turn.
like here,
Uh-huh.
and
So
just
you'd already made the slits on the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah. We
Okay.
made
Gotcha.
some because we didn't want this to be an epic this evening.
Just
'Cause
doing that all the time.
it could go for about three and a half hours. Is he ever going to stop? No, I don't know. Okay, so let's make believe we did all that
Okay.
all the way around. Then
That
what you
is
want to
easy.
do is you still have greens left, right?
Yes.
Oh, look
So
at
we're going to
that.
put those on the bottom.
Okay.
Nice.
We're
And
going
on
to put
top?
greens
Nice.
on the top like so.
People would
Okay.
be very impressed
Oh
if
my
you
God,
did
I'm
this.
impressed.
You know,
Really?
if you
Oh,
did, yeah, this
We'll
would,
have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Then,
what theoretically happens from this point
Mhm.
is we would be taking the cheesecloth
wrapping it up.
and wrapping the whole
I
thing
think the
up.
t-shirt.
I think the t-shirt, now that I think of it, I think the
Okay, with
t-shirt
the
would work.
sleeves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the sleeves.
I
You
can
cut,
see
you
it.
cut it,
Yeah,
you cut
you
it
cut
up.
it.
It worked.
I
It
can
works
see
pretty
that.
nicely.
I see it.
So anyway, so we would just tie it
Okay.
up like,
Look at that.
get this here like
Like a
this,
little
and we
baby. It feels like,
we
I can feel the texture. It's
tie
like,
it up, and then you just take
it's like you want to touch it.
You
I wanna
do.
hug it.
you take
Yeah.
a little bit of twine. If you
home.
could
Take it
hold
home.
that for me, somebody.
Oh,
Oh, let's
That'd
do
be
it both.
great.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good job. Okay.
Thank you. 1, 2,
You know,
3.
Yeah,
There we
you
go.
gotta do the finger.
Okay, good.
Okay,
And this
got it.
even gives us a little thing to do.
okay.
So there we go. This
Whoa,
is essentially
how
the
much-
stuffed ham.
Okay.
Now, what will happen?
I
We
never
we've
would've thought
already
that.
made
I didn't,
a stuffed ham, aka pork roast. And let's take
let's
this
take this
over
out.
there.
of
We're
the
giving that.
way.
So essentially, what you would do is a bigger, even a bigger pot than
Bigger
this.
pot than
I'd like
this.
to get it just a little bit
Uh-huh.
larger than that.
Look
I
at
would take
that.
it in there
Whoa.
like so. And then I have a kettle of boiling water.
Already.
Pour it all
Okay.
over top of that. We're going to bring it up to a boil,
Oh, on top of the stove.
top of the stove, cover it, turn it down, and simmer it for
Oh my God.
2 hours.
That's
Just
all.
That's
very
all?
so. It would be much longer if you were using a real ham, the big ham.
Okay.
That would probably take about 4 or 5 hours. Yes, but
Okay.
this is, when we say easy, this
It's
is much
easy.
easy.
And then
Okay,
through
we
the
can
magic
hand that
of-
off, and then through the magic of television and everything else, and the magic of the kitchen.
This is magical. All right, John, you want it on your cutting board?
Sure.
Okay.
Or actually, we can pull it right over
Okay.
there and see
And then
what
you're
we
gonna
can.
lift it up with the.
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Looks like a
Ladies
big
and
dumpling, doesn't it?
gentlemen,
It
does.
does. I love dumplings.
I do too. That's why I brought it up.
So one of the
Good
other
analogy.
things to know about this, after you've cooked it,
Yeah.
because you said, oh, you're only cooking it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, the thing to realize is it's going to stay there in that pot all day until it cools. And then you keep it in the pot overnight.
Without refrigerating it? or-
No, refrigerating.
Okay.
In Southern Maryland, they don't always refrigerate it, but you know.
John did not say that. They
Look
always
at that. It looks
refrigerate.
like
Okay.
cabbage. I mean, doesn't it look like a cabbage?
So look,
thing?
so this is
does.
how it's coming.
But it's
out.
corn. It's almost like, oh, St.
Nice.
Patrick's
Look at that.
Day is you
Well,
know,
of
sometime
course.
this year. This could be like a corned pork.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll pull this
Okay.
one back
Perfect.
off. And then we'll just put
Wow.
this here. So generally what I
Yeah, what do you do
do
with the extra?
with this, just put it all over
Okay.
here.
Oh, he's
Because
got-
this
You
stuff
could
is
probably
really
eat
good.
that by
presentation.
yourself.
You
You
could.
could eat that.
That's
I
what I
bet
would
you.
like.
Now we could reheat this gently with
Hmm.
something, but the way that it's traditionally served in Southern Maryland is cold. And you'd have some mustards on the
I
side,
can see
some
that.
little beaten biscuits or
Biscuits,
buttermilk
that's
biscuits,
It's even
and a
better.
big platter of that. And there you
Here's what
go.
I like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, John, this is
Oh,
really
look
So let me
at
show,
it.
so
Look
let me
at
show
it.
you that once
Oh,
we,
look, it's in between. I mean,
yes.
it's
See,
the
there
little-
it
it's
is.
the little
There it
stuffings
is.
so
there.
we can show, you have this
There it
kind
is.
of marbleized
That's
effect
nice.
of
Beautiful.
the ham,
Gorgeous.
of the pork. And so you just have this lovely, you know, kind of,
You would really impress people. if
You
did
would,
that.
you would.
let's put a few of these
But if they
here.
help
And then
make
I'll
it,
just
they
take,
would have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
and then you could put a little bit of watercress around
Okay.
there.
Okay, the fresh
Uh,
that you had.
Yeah, we had some beautiful fresh
Here we go.
watercress
Here we go.
here. So we could put that
Mhm.
around
Oh,
there,
this
and
is
maybe
looking
some
real good.
tomatoes if you were gonna put it out there like
Okay, no
that.
tomatoes.
And there you go.
I'm glad no tomatoes.
No tomatoes.
So anyway, we have
That's
a
gorgeous.
rendition,
Oh
an
my God.
easy St. Mary's County stuffed ham.
Gorgeous.
And it smells fabulous.
It smells pretty good, doesn't it?
It smells fabulous.
Mm.
We have that right there.
Awesome.
All right.
A group
We did one.
activity.
We did one.
It's really, really good.
Here.
Here, I'll put that there for a second and we'll clean up,
Clean up.
and then we're gonna get ready for our next.
And
Exactly.
Maryland, Maryland.
Here, see if we go like that. And if
You
we
feel
go
like singing
that,
Maryland, oh
and
Maryland.
then if we go like that.
Oh my
Would you
God.
like to try it? Anybody want to try it?
Come on,
Come on, I'll try it. Sure. Mhm.
try it. We'll cut it. Cut a little
Oh,
piece
it's
out.
amazing.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
It's really nice.
It's
and-
very
it is
good.
good.
Mhm. Very good.
Little kosher salt, just, but bring it up a little.
I would do a little bit more salt. Mhm.
Yeah, just
I
a
love
little
it. It's
bit.
amazing.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is good.
I'm going after the cabbage and the green stuff now. Good
All
job,
right.
everybody.
All right, here
How
we
about a
go.
biscuit?
Oh, yeah.
biscuit would be
Oh,
good.
eating biscuit.
We need a biscuit. We need a biscuit.
Oh,
Here,
yeah, that
let me
is
move this over here
delish.
real quick.
Delish.
That
Mhm.
there.
Love it.
That's amazing.
All right.
All right.
We'll get this out of here, and we're gonna start another
Okay.
historic recipe
All right.
that actually would go quite nicely with the stuffed ham as a side dish.
All right.
Okay. Because you could just
Or it could be a
eat that all the
dessert
time. I'm
from
just
that.
moving it.
Or you could use it if you was doing that for dinner. This recipe that we're going, you could also use it as a dessert. All right, the stuffed ham is messy.
It is. But I was going to ask Carla.
It's worth it.
I was going to ask Dr. Hayden a question.
Carla.
Carla.
So my mom is here.
Well, I
Yeah.
know your mom's here.
So she
and
likes
you will
the
get to
doctor.
meet her mom shortly. But do you have any special recipes like from your childhood that you think, as soon as I said that, something in the back of your brain, you're like,
Oh, hermits. My
Hermits.
grandmother
What's a
used to
hermit?
make, well, there are these cookies and they have raisins and stuff like that in them.
okay.
Hermits and then sweet potato pie.
Oh,
Your mom makes sweet potato
She
pie?
makes
that
it.
is my
That's
favorite.
my favorite too.
That is my
And what's
favorite.
good about her sweet potato pie is she doesn't put a lot of spices, just sugar and
Mm.
butter.
And
You bake the potatoes and then put
Uh-huh.
all that in there,
Yeah.
and then you just bake it.
I
So
love
it's like
sweet
a
potato pie.
souffle almost.
Can I put mine on my Christmas
No.
wish list too?
Yes, yes. Miss
potato pie,
Colleen will
okay.
help you.
Okay.
But that's
I
why
like it.
people like it because you really just taste the
love it.
potato, not all the
Not
other
the other
stuff.
stuff, not the other things.
Mm-mm.
all right. I think our chefettes over there have all kinds of lovely things
Oh,
for
I love
us.
Now,
these
what's
little
this
craft
one now?
dishes. Okay.
This is wow. Look at it. It's coming up. It's coming
Okay,
up.
we're gonna cook.
Okay.
Ed should have us a lovely, some hot milkish stuff here that we're gonna put over
Ooh.
on
I
this.
think it's here and I've seen the temperatures.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And Ed is using a thermostat or a thermometer. That's it. Is it hot, Ed? Why don't you bring it in then? Absolutely. This is Ed.
This is
everybody.
Ed.
This is
Hey,
Ed.
wait,
Yeah.
Eddie.
And this has been simmering. Would that be
Yes.
the proper word? Okay.
Again, you know, when we're doing these classes and we're doing this, you
I
know,
think you're
within a
supposed to do this.
I think
confined
so too. It looks
period
very
of
impressive.
time, we have to move things a little bit along
Sure.
because otherwise it would take
Forever.
unto itself just to get the milk to simmer. All right, let's talk. Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna do a little talking here. We just did a thing about the kind of the enslaved kitchen gardens
Yes.
and the English. Now we're going to do another one of introduction to a different food, corn. So
Corn.
they were not eating corn in England
No.
prior
No.
prior to floating over this way.
Maybe
Um,
potato.
And actually, the Native Americans introduced the colonists and subsequent, groups of people who came in to corn. They had no idea. And corn obviously has been the staple of the Americas for millennia. I mean, it has sustained, populations for like ever. So anyway, we're going to make what is called, it's kind of called this is an Indian pudding. It's a traditional early American recipe, and it has some Native American aspects to it, but it's really, again, that merger of the two cooking cultures. So here we go. We have this.
And is that milk?
It is milk.
It's
All right.
milk.
So this is whole milk that we have here.
I
And
like the pan too.
Of course.
I always like the pans.
so what we're going to do, this is normally the Native Americans would not have used milk. They didn't have cows. They wouldn't have milk. They would have used water for this.
Okay.
But the English, of course,
Well, they like
they
that.
like their. So I'm going to put this in slowly. This is cornmeal. It's stone ground, but it's not really coarse. It's a little bit
It's very
fine.
fine.
Yes, it's a bit fine. So
John's doing really slow on this. I always mess it up and I do half and then dump the rest and then I wonder why I get lumps. He's doing it very patiently.
And very
Measured,
carefully.
Very carefully.
And you notice the
And-
constant motion.
He's got the whisk and it's not my whisk. It's not-
I know
not
our magic whisk is, we haven't found it. It's here somewhere, but
Just
that's
a little bit at a time.
little bit of it at a time. That way it
Constant
doesn't
motion.
clump up, and it's also begins to cook at that time. Think about polenta.
Ah,
I love
mean,
polenta.
This is
Yeah.
essentially, it's just a different grind, but it is the same thing as polenta.
Now, John, would you be able to substitute the whole milk for, say,
Ah.
almond milk?
Absolutely,
Really? Okay.
absolutely.
really? Okay.
Yeah, would not be a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing could be plant-based a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
From all my
Yeah.
vegetarian folks who love,
That's
Uh-huh.
the part of it.
All right, so we have a good simmer going on this.
Very
and-
nice. Look,
And
it's just
the cornmeal is just gently starting to cook. Now, normally, that's one of the reasons we got the milk nice and hot. This would usually take about 15 minutes
Okay.
to do, but we're gonna, again, move ourselves up a little bit, and
it's so
Keep this-
smooth.
it is
Yeah,
smooth.
I
You
just
know,
wanna
no
drink it, get a
lumps or
straw.
anything.
Put a little vanilla and butter. I'm ready to eat it.
And some ice cream.
Oh, ice cream.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
What's
now we're
this?
doing something.
Molasses.
Oh,
I
here we
love
go.
molasses.
Here we
Now,
go.
let's think about
at that.
molasses. What is molasses?
Good.
What is it?
Okay, it is,
It's good.
it's part of when sugar is refined.
Okay.
It's one of the last kind of parts.
Doesn't
and
that
it's
look like
very
chocolate
dark.
sauce?
Here, let's
Supposed
pull
to
this
be maple
off.
syrup.
Let's pull this off of here.
Now, John pulled it off the heat because it started to bubble, where you get those cascading bubbles.
Yeah, and you don't want this to cook
You don't want
too
to,
we
right.
can actually shut this off at this
Okay.
point right now.
We have a tendency to burn a lot of things.
We
That's
have,
okay.
we have.
It's real.
It is really real. Okay,
It's
so
real.
you can already see, that.
And molasses is actually good for you as a sweetener. I mean, most of it's very simple ingredients. There's
Yeah.
not.
They
a
are,
lot
they're
of-
relatively simple.
Yeah.
Sugars. So now, again, we're taking things from the refining techniques of the English,
Okay.
and then we have maple syrup,
Maple syrup.
another.
Maple syrup. I'm just looking around
Oh
and
my
seeing
God.
all this
Syrup.
stuff.
Molasses. I love it.
Okay, now I'm going to
Those
take a
two.
little bit of
Of-
softened butter.
What did we say? French women don't get fat.
Yeah, they-
Yeah.
This is not, this
But
is
they eat-
American food and we're gonna
But they
eat
eat
it.
leek soup all the time too.
All right, I think we have a whole bunch of things. I'll call them out. You put them in, and we'll
Okay.
see what you can see. Do you see any salt over there?
Salt. I think it's either this one or this one.
Put it in. They got both. Got to go in there one
Okay, what do
time.
you think?
One sugar, one is
Okay.
sugar, and one is salt.
Okay, there you go. right.
Okay, there should be some cinnamon, ginger,
Here you go,
and
Sean, I think.
nutmeg.
Oh, no, this is cinnamon.
Now, Mary, I'm
I
feeling
got
a little Julia Child coming
I
on
know,
here.
there
You
we
know,
go.
it's like,
Here.
whatever.
Here
I
we
got
go.
some nutmeg and
Oh, let's just
and
put it
Okay,
in
there
here.
we go.
Ginger. I love ginger. It's
Okay,
nutmeg.
ginger in. Let's get our
All
ginger
of
in and
it?
then nutmeg.
There
Throw
you
it
go.
all in.
Throw a little nutmeg in.
Come
This
on.
is just little now. This
A
isn't
little.
much.
It isn't much.
Yes,
It's just to
And a little-
perfume
I
it.
know, really.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay.
Mm.
Mhm.
And then could you give me the eggs? my
The
love?
eggs, yes, dear.
And while I'm doing the eggs, maybe you could butter
the
that
dish.
dish
Okay.
right there.
All right.
All right, so you see here, what we put in. You notice we do not have any flour in here.
No.
Or any leavening in here. So we're going to take just a little bit of eggs, whole eggs.
And the butter is very generous buttering the dish. I've never put that much butter in the dish.
Well, you don't want anything to stick, for
Look,
God's
we
sake.
got molasses. We've got all this other stuff.
before.
We gotta have a lot of butter.
Okay.
Gotta have a lot of butter. That looks so
Okay.
good.
So I'm going to whisk, 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 whisk. And now, here we got that thing right there. I'm going to get,
You're gonna put it in and I'm gonna switch it out.
I'll just bring this one here, right up here. Come on, there. Come on.
See, I would just drink
Mm,
it.
mm,
Put that on
mm,
ice
mm.
cream.
You could.
On ice cream.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
it. Vanilla ice cream. You're good.
Yeah, we're good.
In
Look at
fact, we
that.
might have some of that later with it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
look at
We
that.
could.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
look
One of
Look
the
at
perks
that.
of doing this show is we get to taste everything. Okay.
But
Okay.
you at home can taste it
You can do
too.
it at home. You have the recipes.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Ah.
All right, now the magic of the kitchen. Wow.
Let me just put that in there.
Why
And
don't
that's
you put it over
beautiful.
there?
That's going into the magic oven right over there. And then
Voila.
Voila, here we go.
pull that
Oh,
back
yeah.
here.
Okay.
Vanilla
Here's
ice cream. Gotta have it.
All
the
right,
pudding.
here we go.
Okay.
Here we
This is-
go.
this-
Here we go.
Or whipped cream.
Or whipped cream.
For whipped cream, oh my gosh, real whipped cream. I've learned how to whip that in
Oh,
my.
really?
Oh, yes, in one of those machines, you know, one of the mixers.
Nice.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
there we go. Now, the interesting part about the pudding, it's very
Oh,
dense. This is very dense because there is no kind of leavening.
Yeah.
The only thing that gives it a little bit of lightness is the eggs.
Okay, and that's what
Oh,
gets
look
it
at
going.
this. Oh, I love this.
Ooh,
This
look
is
at this.
awesome.
Look at this. Da-da-da.
See, I would want this for breakfast.
And you can have it.
And when I was growing up,
Really?
I would eat this for breakfast. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, let me
As my
grab.
husband would say, he'd get up and pack me and spend in the kitchen.
This would be the treat that I
So
would
here you
get
go.
maybe
You
if
have a
I ate
little
my
bit of whipped
broccoli.
cream
Ah.
here. Put
Oh,
some of
look at
that on
that
top
whipped
of
cream.
there.
And if I had Brussels sprouts, I could really get an extra piece.
Ooh.
Good. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
There we
John.
go.
There's your cream.
And then
There's your
Okay.
cream.
somewhere in here, I think I brought us a couple little.
There's your cream.
Okay,
Here we
We're
go.
gonna do it.
we're gonna
There
do it.
Got it. Got
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Got it.
excuse me. Look, I'm
All right.
trying to get to it really quickly, but my
Oh my
goodness.
All right, there
This
we
is some
have
good
a
stuff.
little bit of
It's beautiful.
Indian pudding.
Mm,
How's
It's
that?
amazing.
mm.
And
Oh,
Carla, you
my.
were right. Ice cream would go
Ice cream
very,
would
very,
go very,
very
very
well.
Oh, yeah. This is ice cream.
Mm.
At night, after
I like
movie.
that.
Look, even my towel is gone. This
It's
is
a-
how good it is.
I'm gonna make this for something. I don't
I'm
know,
glad. Mm.
something.
This is good.
This is really
This is
good.
really,
Mhm.
Now,
really
people,
good.
we do have to keep cooking. I can
Yeah.
see us just standing here eating.
All right,
Okay, we have to
Here
keep
we go.
cooking because this is too good.
they're trying to keep us on schedule. It's
That's it.
never an easy thing to do.
But this
we're-
was not the one to keep us on
No,
schedule.
it was not,
No.
not an easy
No,
thing.
this was not it.
All right, so now
Oh
I
my
think back
God,
in
was
our
that bad.
That was
magic,
good.
in our magic kitchen, they have a nice pan for me
A nice
that they're
pan
going to
for
give to
John.
me right now,
We
I
have it.
think.
Oh, it is a very nice
I
pan.
think they have a lovely, nice pan
Oh,
here
canola.
for
Oh,
us. And that can go right there.
very good, very good.
Pepper.
Uh-huh.
Oh, let's put that
Okay,
there.
so we're gonna get that thing heating up
Nice,
and
Mhm.
nice, nice.
we get some of our,
Oh, I know what we're getting ready to make.
I think I know too.
I
Uh-huh.
just got chills.
I
Uh-huh.
know, but it's okay.
so anyway, when we went
This is
down to the
human.
Library of Congress, as I said, your staff was so helpful for us to see different recipes. And one of the recipes that so impressed me was Rosa Parks' Featherlite peanut butter
pancakes.
pancakes. So, Carla, could you talk a little bit
Well,
about
everyone
Rosa?
knows about Rosa Parks, the civil rights icon. And you imagine her refusing to give up her seat. But what people might not realize is she was an activist before that. She was very strong in terms of human rights and everything else. And she was human. And so there's an exhibit at the library, Rosa Parks in her own words. And she talks about her childhood. She talks about all other things. And then they include her recipe for peanut butter pancakes because she was under stress a lot after the arrest and everything. And she became lactose intolerant for a while. She had all kinds of problems. She became a vegetarian.
Wow.
But she still liked to eat. Still liked to eat. And she went into
Absolutely.
yoga and everything. So she tried to find ways to make sure that she and her husband, they never had children, but that there were some special things. And she would write on anything.
Yes, and we
Envelopes,
actually, you saw that. We
you
just
saw
showed
the
you.
thing.
Yeah, it was on.
And so the exhibit, and I'll just show it up in her own words, and you see her there as a woman in full. And that's what you see to the end of her life. So she loved to cook.
All right, we're burning something.
She
I
loved to
told you
cook.
we would burn something.
we always
Didn't I
burn
tell you we would
Well,
burn something?
good.
That's our trademark, isn't it?
It
It is our trademark.
Or
Let's see.
milk.
What do you
Something.
think about how healthy this was for her with the nuts and the
Mhm.
banana and
Yes.
all of that, and just enough of condensed milk, which is interesting.
Condensed, but condensed milk was very popular back then.
Back then, yeah.
I mean, it was used for baby formula. It
Mhm.
was used for many things, and it was relatively inexpensive.
Maybe that was a part of it.
Yeah.
And it also had a lot to do with condensed milk is they didn't have cows in many places.
Right.
Like if you look at anywhere along the Eastern Shore or any of the islands, everything
Was
was,
brought in.
yes. And Steve said we had to turn off the vent, but he told us the last time the vent did not make any noise at all.
They fixed it.
Okay.
Yes, yes. He lied.
Steve.
That's Steve. That dang Steve.
It works
Okay,
now.
so all right, let's make believe like we're making
Quick.
pancakes real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what I put in here with the ingredients was flour,
Mhm.
baking powder to make it rise, salt, sugar,
That's it.
and over here in our other thing, I have some warmed butter.
Mm.
Butter.
Let me get a little.
You
another
notice
little
how
bowl
butter
here.
stands out.
We definitely we need one more bowl here.
But here you go, John. We have some warmed butter.
Mm.
Okay.
Magic Kitchen responded.
We're gonna have to run around the.
So we're going to put our
Yes.
warm butter in here. Going to take kind of like our liquid ingredients, the eggs,
Eggs.
right? And take the milk.
Milk. Whole milk
Condensed
again.
milk.
This is whole milk. Again, you know, like when you asked before, could you do soy milk,
Sure.
almond
could.
milk, any of those? Absolutely. Makes a lovely, lovely dish. Now over here, we have the peanut butter. And this is another ingredient. Peanuts were from Africa,
That's
or
right.
from Africa. We can get that in there.
And she was born in Tuskegee, Alabama,
Oh.
and she also knew about George Washington Carver,
Carver.
who did so much with the peanuts
Peanuts.
and soy and things like that too. So she's
Yeah.
very aware of that.
Yeah, so this not only does it give it a lot of flavor, we do get a little bit of extra fat in there to make it rich, 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 rich,
And
which
protein. There's some protein.
which we really like, right?
We do.
All right, now I'm going to quickly oil the pan.
And that's just regular oil.
It's just
Vegetable oil.
vegetable oil.
And imagine kids on a Sunday morning or Saturday morning, and they get to make peanut butter
Butter
pancakes.
Nothing like that, huh?
That's kind of a cool thing.
All right, now I'm going to take those liquid ingredients. I'm mixing them right in with our dry ingredients. I mean, most of us, we know how to make pancakes, but this is a really unique,
It gives a little something. The
combination.
peanut butter really
yeah.
I agree.
adds something to it.
Now, Carla, when we were first talking about doing this, I was not sure where I wanted to put it in the sequence of this evening's show.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what? These are so cool and they have so many variations you could do with this. Let's make this dessert. This could be a really, 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 really good dessert.
You'll never get an objection from us.
No.
Ever.
No.
We're
like
ready
dessert.
for dessert
We like
anytime.
dessert.
You can see we've known each
Yeah,
other
yeah,
for a
we
little
know.
while.
Pass that
Yeah.
one on over there.
And we would go to our conferences in Ocean
my
City.
gosh, yes.
Mary, we
Little
would be
ladle.
together.
Little ladle.
Okay,
For
so
dessert.
we
Like
have
that
the
dessert.
peanut butter, we have everything in there. Some of the additions that I brought and thought of that we can do. More
Bananas.
peanuts, toasted
Always.
peanuts that are chopped,
And
little chocolate chips if
Can
you
you
felt
see
like
the
it.
kids?
Yeah.
Can you
And
see
then you
them?
could dice
Yes.
up some banana and put that in there too. Or you could put it on at the end, whatever you
Right.
want to do.
Sure.
There's so many possibilities for this.
Okay.
And she loved, even though she didn't have children, she had nieces and nephews and they loved her. And there was a
Amazing.
book about
Oh my
her
gosh.
auntie. So you can imagine her, if they
Mm-hmm.
visit and stuff like that. So she could do something that's fun for them. And being a vegetarian, with kids, you gotta,
So John,
Have
one
some other
question
stuff.
I always hear from people is, how do you know the skillet's ready for your pancake batter?
Well,
What's a good way when you're at home?
I take this and
Water.
just go, yeah.
Ah,
And
And
see if
so
it-
then, and see if it, see
ah,
it's sizzling there.
okay.
So that's one of the easiest ways to see
Okay.
if it's ready to go.
now what about ready to flip?
Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
That's
Here
the
we go.
part. That's where I
That's
get
the
mixed.
crucial
Yeah,
part.
that's where I get a little
You're
mixed
getting that
up.
flipping part done.
Yeah.
I do like those new little waffle irons that have a top and a bottom. And if you
Oh,
can figure
yeah, I
out the
saw
time,
those.
like 2 minutes, it's perfect. It does, but you don't have to flip it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Always thinking.
Yeah,
Always thinking.
always.
So anyway, this is what we would be doing, obviously,
Okay,
in the
let's see the
morning
flip.
while we're frying bacon or doing the ham,
Doing
and
all
we're making our
that. For the ones that
pancakes.
want, yeah. just
For
do
anybody who
anything,
wants
and it's
that, or
fun.
if you want some eggs on the side.
Mm.
I loved weekend breakfast.
Me
I
too.
loved the
Me too.
pancakes on either
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday.
Sorry.
Because during the week, you didn't have that much time.
Oh my
right, to get to
goodness,
school,
no, that was
But
cereal
on the
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah, that was cereal
was-
or
or
Pop-Tarts.
oatmeal or
Yeah,
something like
oatmeal.
that.
Mhm.
Something like that. No, it was time to go.
but it was special. It was a special thing. And that's another aspect of these. These are special. There's something that you can celebrate, you can have fun with. It can be really, really good. Okay, so let's see here.
And most people will have peanut butter. Oh, look, we're peeking. Oh, did you see the
they're really
color?
fast. Yes.
Oh, the
So
color.
what we're looking for, and we're going to be getting, we're not quite there yet. I'm going to turn
Now,
it up a
John
little bit.
shifted them slightly,
Yeah.
which I think keeps them from sticking.
Right. So I
Okay.
just went in there a little bit, moved it around
Just a little.
Yeah,
bit.
just a little.
And if you can see here,
The bubbles.
we have bubbles start.
Okay.
Okay. That's what you need. You have to have the
Bubbles.
bubbles starting.
Because they're letting the
Yeah,
air-
because
air
if you
set.
didn't have any bubbles in the thing, it's
Mhm.
going to be really kind of gummy.
Okay.
And
I know that one.
And you say,
I
"Ah."
usually burn mine, but
well, that
pancakes
that's
are hard to.
They are.
that is the tricky part. I mean, everybody, oh, pancakes are easy. Well,
No.
not
No.
necessarily 100% easy. Once you get them down, you got them.
Yeah.
But you do have to get to that point where you're feeling good about it, and you're
And I
getting
get
that little
distracted
bit.
by the bacon and the eggs I'm doing, and then by the time I get back
You
to my
need help.
pancakes, they're like, oh,
So anyway, let's just take
Just a little-
that.
See, and you
Oh,
did that
that's-
confidently.
Yes.
confident.
Yeah. You try not
You can't
to.
Can you
hesitate.
flip them?
Look, he did.
No, that kind of flip.
I can,
Oh.
but not in this pan.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So that's
next
why
up.
they call them flapjacks.
Oh, that's
flatten.
so true.
Yeah.
See?
Is that something you learn in
Culinary
chef
history.
school?
Absolutely.
Oh my God,
Yes,
I
we
never
have
got it.
months
Months of it.
months of flipping. You have to get your degree
I
in
love
flipping.
it.
Okay,
Okay,
now I
let's-
had a nice
That looks
platter
great.
Yep,
for our
platter.
things here. Oh, here it is. It's got all these things on it. Well, that'll help us, won't it?
Yes.
So anyway, here it goes. It's cooking,
Okay.
cooking, cooking.
They
Now,
are
let me tell you
beautiful.
one of the things not to do.
Not to
Okay,
do.
get your pens, pencils, everything out of here. So you see how this is kind of like they are rising up
Yes.
and
Yes.
look really light, don't they?
Yeah.
What's the name of our recipe?
Featherlite.
Featherlite.
Okay, these are very, very feather light.
Okay.
And people think, oh, I want to make it
I was
cooked on
just
the
getting
cook,"
ready to say,
and
I
they
was-
push on them.
Yes,
No.
that
Do
was
not push on that.
That was what I
Okay,
was-
we can't have
because
that.
I do that.
I do that too.
I used to, and when I was a kid, and then I found out later in the world of the cooking thing,
That's
that's
not
not the
good.
thing that you want to do.
Wow.
Okay, now we're going to shut that off.
Okay.
We needed to know
Obviously, if
that.
it's Saturday, any other day, we just be
Sure.
making these
Making them.
pancakes and making them. So let's see, what can we do now?
That chocolate.
Somewhere here, Edward made me a lovely little thing here with chocolate.
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly how I get it out of here.
It says
like that.
whole.
Oh.
Oh, there's the hole. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Ed.
Good reading.
Okay,
I'm a
so
librarian.
how about,
We
yeah,
do
she
that.
reads. How about a little
Look
bit
at
of, this is
Oh.
chocolate sauce.
And this is just a little Ziploc bag, everybody.
And
Yes.
that's also
So if
good
you-
with
so
young
if you
people
don't
too.
have
Let them put
a
the chocolate
pastry
sauce
bag-
in there. They cut the hole.
Look at
they
that.
write on their
They
hole.
could write on it. They can draw
So we have
faces.
that.
Okay.
Then you could take
Very good
a
activity.
little bit like this, and we could put a little bit more whipped cream on
cooking
here,
as an activity.
like so,
And they're learning.
like so
That's what-
there.
And in a fun way.
And
then-
measurements, patience.
Mhm.
We toasted a little bit of peanuts
Peanuts.
Oh,
Put those all
Oh.
over top of
Oh my
that.
gosh.
And then if you felt like you could have put this in, or you could put a
Put
little
some
bit
chocolate.
over.
What the
Mhm.
heck?
Little
Just
chocolate.
go
bits.
for it.
Look at that.
looks
Look at that.
amazing.
That is
Oh my
gorgeous.
gosh.
Now, I
Listen.
think that this is
Wouldn't you like to visit
Yes.
Aunt Rosa,
Yes, I would.
Here
your
we go.
favorite
I
aunt that
would.
would make you Featherlite?
But if you
peanut
go
butter
see the
pancakes.
exhibit,
You can feel
you
her.
You can feel, you really do get a
can
good
feel her.
sense of her. It's
Yeah.
wonderfully done. I think it's open until
May.
May.
All the
Until
way
May.
through May. So
Yeah.
go,
Until-
and you can
Yeah.
go online on the library's
Yeah.
website, loc.gov,
Mhm.
and you could see some of the exhibit things
Yeah.
and also, and the recipe is on there too.
And I bet you if we asked Dr. Hayden if we could put the recipe, the recipe is on there, you said.
Yeah, we,
I was gonna
Uh-huh,
say,
it's
have to
online.
have it in to get that up on there, right?
It's on there because
Okay.
we do it.
Oh my
Mm-mm.
gosh.
They are so light.
They are right.
They
Mm.
are Featherlite.
They are
Mm.
feather
I'm glad
light.
we didn't mash them.
No, I agree.
All right, I'm gonna put that over there. I'm
Mm-mm.
gonna do this here.
This is,
And anyway, we're trying to finish up here on time, which we never do so well with,
There's so
but we
much
try.
fun.
We're trying.
Look at this.
Okay, so let me give you a couple of things here, right real quick here. We're gonna say goodbye to you in a little bit. We're gonna have a little toast here, but don't hang up. Do not put leave session.
Don't leave.
Don't leave
Because
session.
because I know who you are, and I got everything. I got everything here.
Yep.
And
We turned
I
off
can
the
find
heat.
you. I can find you. So we want you to ask some questions and so forth and so on. But before we did that,
Yes.
I thought we needed to get the person out here who made all of this possible.
Okay.
And where is she?
She is making her way down right now.
Okay,
She's a
all
very
right.
special lady.
She's a very special
Who-
lady.
She is, and she has a very special daughter.
And she has a very special daughter. And as I
I
said,
think I
and
recognize
she's a-
her.
and
Do
you
come in.
on
ladies and gentlemen,
Miss Colleen.
Miss Carla Hayden. Yay! The woman who made it all possible.
And sweet potato pie.
And sweet potato pie.
I kind of gave your secret away with the
She
sweet
did.
potato pie.
Yeah.
Bake
She
them
did.
first. Kinda
So
had
we
to do that.
usually, as you know, if you've been here with us before, we usually have a little bit of a toast with champagne or a bubbly or a local thing. Well, in honor of Colleen, her favorite dessert is hot fudge sundae. So we are going to,
Yeah.
There you go.
And I didn't get this much when I was growing up, okay? I only
Uh-huh.
learned about this later for treats.
so to all of you,
Cheers,
thank you.
toast. Thank you.
Thank
Don't
you,
worry,
thank
we'll
you,
get
thank
it.
you.
Don't worry.
Cheers.
You take one.
Here, there's one. There you go.
There you
Oh, wow.
go. Oh my God.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
And thanks to all of you for joining us today, especially to the Harford County Public Library team,
Mary.
to Dr.
Team.
Carla
Mary.
Hayden, obviously to Colleen, to Roswell and Sina. Thank you so much for helping us, and all the curators
Oh, they
at the
love it.
Library of Congress, our common table team.
Yay.
And anyway, we were so terribly excited. If you've been watching us today and you've been watching us before, share it. Let people know about Chesapeake Farm and Bay to Table. Please do that. And the more people we get, the more news we can get out to everyone and
Yeah.
teach people about the local food economy. We also want to thank the Maryland Department of Agriculture, Maryland's Best program, and that's www.marylandsbest.net. So check that out. That tells you kind of where farmers markets are, what is local, what's seasonal, has a great resource for local Maryland seafood as well. There's so much that Maryland has to offer, as you see. We have our patriotic things there. And we also want to invite you to join us on April 13th. That's our next show. And it's going to be time to start your garden.
Yes, it is actually.
Yes, it is.
And so you don't have to have this big yard or big box things to have a garden. And to do it, we're going to have some of the Baltimore City master gardeners join us to show how we can just do a simple thing, even if we're growing some herbs for that year. Do you know?
In your balconies.
Yes, we're going to make it simple for a little space, whatever you have. And then we're also going to the farmer's market again.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and we're going to find all about the spices.
Spices.
Yes, and
remember, in Maryland, you have farmers markets everywhere in the far corners of the state. So look at your local resources, public libraries, everywhere.
And bigger libraries.
Bigger libraries.
Public
too.
libraries.
The biggest
especially.
library.
Yeah.
Public.
And,
So yeah.
and you should, it's everywhere. Our seafood industry, and spring is here. I know it's here. So enjoy it and enjoy every season, because there's something special about each week when you go. You never know what you're going to see. So
Exactly. So once again, we want to thank you. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go
It's time for, but thanks very much for joining us on Chesapeake Farm and Bay to Table. So now that we have Dr. Hayden here with us, and you have me, we're running around, Mary and Colleen. How about questions? We hopefully we can answer
questions.
All right.
Colleen,
What might they be?
You want
Do you want to stay, Colleen?
Well, you
Maybe
can
some
go.
questions for you.
Now she's going to exit
She wants to
now.
eat that. She
She's
wants to
gonna
eat
exit
that.
now.
You go right ahead.
I love it. Okay, not cooking.
Chef Ed will get you to the
Yeah,
ice cream enjoyment area.
enjoy it. All right, so
So-
here's a good question. This was lots of work with the ham and with everything we did tonight. Is this ever served at Gertrude's? Excellent question.
It
Pat
should
Boyle.
be.
Periodically.
Oh,
Okay.
We've done it for that. We've done it for special events. We do not do it on a regular basis
Okay.
because I think Chef Ed might jump off the Hanover Street Bridge,
We don't want that.
and we can't have that.
No,
So,
no.
but it is great. And, check our website time and time, and we may have it from now
I
on.
was going to check out the website, because that's where they will post if they're
The
doing
specials.
or the theme nights. John is like the perfect independent blogger. We like dressing up and doing theme nights too. So
Yeah.
check it
Good.
out. All right, here's a question for you. What kind of pan were we using? This is from Ishrat, and I think it may be this pan. This is a
For the
Teflon pan.
pancakes?
That's a
Oh,
Cathlon.
Cathlon.
It's a
Okay.
Cathlon. It's iodized aluminum.
Okay.
So it
It was
cooks
very
very
nice.
evenly. It's good.
I suspect this might be Chef Ed's pan, maybe. Is it, John?
This would be Chef John's pan.
Chef
It's-
John's pan. Okay.
It's very nice, though. It was
Hello?
very flat.
It's very
too.
nice. It's very nice quality.
It's like a griddle.
Okay, let me backpedal on that one.
Okay.
Okay, Kristen wants to know, Dr. Hayden, what is the oldest cookbook or recipe in the Library of Congress? And John and I actually saw that.
You saw
Our
it?
teams weren't
Okay.
There, but Dr. Hayden can tell you exactly and probably cite the source.
Oh, my goodness. Now go on the first American cookbook.
The
Oh,
first
yeah, I
American
think it's the
cookbook.
next page.
It's the next page, America
Yeah.
Eats, and it's got all son of a gun stew and all of these things. So go on the website, loc.gov, and look it up. There's also a feature called Ask a Librarian. And there are librarians that will text you and do it like that.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you.
And it
Thank
goes
you, Kristen.
all the way back.
All right. All right. Pat would like to know, what is the best peanut butter for cooking?
Oh,
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. There's a number of different ones. I usually like the all natural
Mhm.
peanut butter. Sometimes you have to stir it a little bit to get some of the oil in. There's a number of different small markets and even some of the farmers markets that actually grind the peanuts right there. I think Mom's Market here, they do that, and a number of other
Nice.
Wegmans.
Nice.
And that's a really good It's about the texture. It's a lot about using good peanuts and the texture of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, great. And Carla, what is your favorite food as a kid?
Oh, chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream, chocolate ice cream.
That didn't take much.
Yeah, got that
it.
quickly.
That was it.
All right, so here's a question from Lynn. The pancakes to less the fat, can you use powdered peanut? Oh, I think I know what you're saying. To lessen the
What?
fat
Yes,
in it, can you use powdered peanut?
you could. You could use
Okay.
powdered peanut. You could also use, like I said, the almond milk or the
Okay.
soy milk. That'll bring the fat content down.
Okay.
You can also use this
Put
thing
this
that's
right
really
here.
cool. You can get it at most stores now. It's called Energy Egg Replacer. You beat that up with a little bit of warm water, froths up like an egg, but you don't get any of the fat.
Where do you
from the
find
egg.
that
Yeah,
in
Just
the
about
grocery store?
yeah, all of
But
them.
what aisle?
It's near the flour.
Okay.
Flour.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be
because I
near
wouldn't have
it would
thought
be
that.
near the leavening, near the
Near
leavening.
leavening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow, okay.
Okay. And Beth would like to know, is forwarding a question from Cheryl, where can you get corned ham? Is a corned ham the same process as corned beef, but beef instead of ham?
Okay, that's a good question.
questions.
You know, the old-fashioned butchers around here, you could and everywhere, you could just call and order a corned ham. Okay, so it's a process that takes about 5, 6, 7 days, and it's kind of like packing the ham in salt for a while, and then you're putting it into a big pot of cold water for a day or two. So it's a really
It's a process.
long process, but there are still some butchers. You can call your local butcher and find out, and some of them still do corn hams. And what I had suggested, if you didn't want to do that, look up any kind of brining recipe. It's really salt and water, sometimes salt, water, and sugar. And you put the meat in there, let it refrigerate it, but let it sit for 3, 4, 5 days. And you don't have to go through a big process. And then it's ready to go.
Okay, wow.
Wow.
Okay, I love corned beef. I love corned ham. I like anything corned. All right, here we go. Carla, who and what inspired you to be a librarian? I like this question. Thank
Well.
you very much.
Well, I was fortunate to grow up in a family that loved to read, and they would read to me. And then I found out, I could read myself. And then I started being introduced to libraries, and it's like, I could pick out anything I want to read. And that I did learn about fines because I would keep them and everything like
Your mom,
that.
Colleen, learned about
Yeah,
things.
but then it was like, and then I never thought about it, Mary. You know, when you have that light go up.
Yeah.
Well, who designs the building? Who decides what books go in? How does this all work? And that's when you know, wow,
Well, you want to do this?
yeah, I want to be a librarian, not marrying a librarian.
No, I don't think there's any Marian librarians left anymore, but I have respect.
But you remember
I do.
when you first
Yeah.
said they pay you to do this?
They pay you to do that, yeah. So there's a book, and I'm setting this up. There is a book that Carlin will talk about that has such an impact on her.
Bright April.
Bright
That's
April.
where I learned about fines. It was in Jamaica, New York, PS 96, and across the street was a storefront library. And I was about 7. I had my card. And a librarian, put this book in my hand. And it was the first time I saw myself in a book. Because she was about 7 or 8. Her name was April. She was a brownie. She had 2 pigtails. I thought she had the family with the piano and everything. I loved that book. I took it home. I kept it. And I still to this day, because books were like windows to the world, but they have to be mirrors too. You have to see yourself.
You have to see yourself in the story
Yeah.
and whatever's
Yeah.
going on. So Carla's overdue notice will be coming from this library. probably
So I
in Florida,
learned.
perhaps. And yes, it's in her attic somewhere.
It's there. It's
Yeah.
there. So with that love of reading, and you've had that too.
Absolutely.
What was your?
Betsy and Tacy series?
Oh, Betsy and Tacy.
I've flown out to Minnesota. I've sat on their bench.
See.
It was based on girls. It was the previous turn of the century. I just absolutely adore that series, and I picked it up in my school library. My school library was not well funded. It was a little parochial school in Baltimore, and it was the one book. It had a blue cover on it. I liked the color blue. I was in first grade, and picked it up, and the words fascinated me. I never looked back. I never looked back after that.
And it was a series, so you could
It was
get
a
more.
series.
It's like the
Oh my God.
pancakes. You keep
And then when I
going.
realized that Baltimore County Public Library, now this is when I was a kid,
It's a
mind
big
you,
one.
they had the titles when she was in high school and when she got married. Oh my gosh. I mean, and I had been waiting years to read those books, years, because where I was, it kind of stopped at elementary school. But
You remember it.
I do. Okay. So here's a good question. This is from Anne. What are our favorite cookbooks written by women?
By
Okay,
women.
now we're gonna get you. We're gonna put you on the spot, sir.
Well, I have everything by Julia Child.
Oh.
Elizabeth David taught me so much
Okay.
about kind of historical kind of cooking of the Mediterranean, of France, and it was so lyrical. Yeah, let's see who else.
Because she did an omelet and a glass of wine.
Martha
Elizabeth.
Rose Schulman.
Oh,
I like a
who is
lot
she?
of her books because she did a lot of cooking, focused on French cooking, Mediterranean cooking, Italian cooking, but she did it kind of light
Nice.
and with a different approach. And she did, and I love the Greens cookbook from San Francisco, the women that were writing that. So yeah, a lot of the cookbooks that I've read have always been by women.
Wow. And Carla, do you
Now
have a
you-
favorite?
Omelet and a glass of
Omelet
wine.
and a glass of wine.
Elizabeth David.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ruth Reichel too.
Pardon me?
Was it Ruth? Is it
Ruth
Reichel?
Reichel. Oh my
Reichel.
God.
Michael.
Tender at the bone. That was
Yeah.
right. She hooked me from that, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now you just
Wow.
went. She was wonderful.
I was going to throw like a ringer in, like I like Betty Crocker and Fanny Farmer.
Nothing
Fanny
wrong.
Farmer,
Nothing
don't
wrong
forget
with either
Fanny
one of
Farmer.
those.
All righty, let's see what else do we have in here. And can we substitute powdered for the eggs? Powdered eggs for the eggs. Powdered eggs instead of doing regular eggs.
I have to be honest, I've never used powdered eggs before. So I can
Okay.
only think that, maybe they have to be whipped up again with a little
Mhm.
water because the thing that only reason you're using the eggs is either to thicken like a custard, and that would be the yolk. But if it's a whole egg, it's to give it to
To
rise,
rise.
to make it light. So I guess if you whipped it up with something like that, that's why I was talking about the energy egg replacer. Same thing as
Energy
putting
egg
air
replacer.
into whatever it is that you made.
I'm going to look for that energy
Yeah.
egg
Meat
replacer.
energy
Yeah.
egg replacer. I bet you
Yeah.
Wegmans has it too.
They
And
do.
ShopRite. I
They
bet you
do.
they all do.
Everybody.
They do.
Everybody's
They
got
do.
it. Well, that was our last question.
Well, thank
thank
you.
both
of
Thanks to
you.
everybody.
Thanks,
This was a
everybody.
great show. And
We
We-
really
we
appreciate
were
it.
so looking
Thank you.
forward
Oh,
to
thank
this.
Oh,
We've been
this is
pushing
great.
this. Thank you,
please
everyone.
tune in next month for our show. And we can't wait to see you. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
And tell everybody you know about it. Take
Exactly.
care. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.